Welcome back to Knucklehead Garage. On this episode, we're going to get rid of the snowblower gas tank and use the original one. Man, Wally, you are looking good. Woo! Yeah! Woo! Let's go! I have done just enough on the fuel system here to learn some good news and some bad news. The good news is the drain plug came out super easy, so I was able to flush the fluid that was in there. And I'm choosing my words carefully. I'm saying fluid because I'm sure at one point it was nice fresh gas, but it was nasty, nasty black varnish stuff. I can actually still smell it. And the second part of the good news is that it actually held that fluid, so it wasn't leaking. And I've actually since put fresh gas in there, sloshed it around a little bit, and tried to get some more of that varnish out. So drain plug works, and it's not leaking. Now the bad news is I have not been able to get gas from the gas tank up into the engine bay. And let me show you what I'm doing there. I started with the setup that you can see here. It's a electronic fuel pump there that's pulling gas from the hard line in the engine bay and actually just recirculating it back into the gas tank. This does a couple things. It actually just makes sure that I can pull gas, but also I've got a couple inline fuel filters. So if I can pull gas, it circulates through and it's supposed to stir up some of the gas or varnish or whatever's left in the tank and capture that crap in those filters. Unfortunately, it didn't work, which brought me to check number 2. I figured if I can't pull gas from the gas tank, maybe I can push air into the gas tank and hopefully unblock anything that's blocked there. So I got my compressor hooked up here. This is the same rubber line I was pulling from that's hooked up to the hard line that goes to the gas tank. I had my compressor maxed out at 120 psi or more, and there was no movement whatsoever. I was actually afraid I was going to blow this rubber line apart, so I stopped there, but I did put a little bit more gas, fresh gas, into the gas tank and sloshed it around a little bit, and it's been in there for a couple days, but still no movement. So I've come to terms that I've got to drop this gas tank, which in the end is the right thing to do. I'm going to be able to figure out what's really clogged there, probably be able to inspect the inside of the gas tank a little bit more, figure out whether I need to clean it, seal it, and do whatever else. So let's knuckle up and get to it. Without too much issue, I was able to drop the gas tank. I couldn't find another way to drop it without dropping the running board as well. So I dropped that whole thing. Now I got to figure out how to get everything disconnected so I can actually drop it all the way down. Now I'm just contending with this wire, which is actually for the fuel tank sensor on the dash. I've got a ground wire here, which I can easily detach on the frame. And then I've got the hard line, the actual gas line that goes up and over the frame rail and then back to the front. So I'm going to try to unscrew this one here. I can unscrew this one on the frame and then see if I can actually finagle this without disconnecting this here, although maybe that's the easiest thing to do. I don't know. I got to figure out how to get this stuff all out so I can drop the whole thing. All right, the gas tank is now completely separated from the truck. I've got it up here on the bench in my workshop. I did get it separated from the running board, you could see down there, which wasn't too bad. I did successfully undo the hard line for the gas here, no problem, but I really struggled. I couldn't get the sense line off or the ground. I had like a really short stubby screwdriver access there. So I've already had problems with these screws, and I've heard horror stories of people stripping out those screws before. So I'm going to be careful. I can't add heat, or I don't want to add heat because there's still gas in here. So I'm going to take my time and see if I can actually take these off so I can actually peer inside and see what the state of the gas tank is. not looking too nice in there. I was hoping for a little bit better. You can see the gas sloshing around and some rather large rust flakes in there. So I'm going to stay optimistic and try to come up with a plan to salvage this tank. I probably will look into option to see if there's other tanks that I could get. But let me show you a close-up of the pickup as well. So this is rust kind of crystallizing at the top and really sludgy stuff at the bottom. This I'm sure I could salvage. I just got to clean it and blow it out. And then there's the piece that is meant to determine how full or empty the gas tank is. There's supposed to be a float there, and this is actually supposed to articulate and pivot up here, but that's not looking too great either. So I'll start looking into what I can do to get this whole gas tank back into shape. As I'm figuring out what to do with this gas tank, I am going to take an opportunity that just arose by dropping the gas tank in the running board, which has to do with my seating situation, which is important because I have been actually driving Wally outside of the garage occasionally, and I've actually been sitting on a 5-gallon bucket, which is uncomfortable but also super sketchy. So what I've got in my garage now is the seat that my dad has rebuilt for me. Reupholstered, rebuilt the springs, and kind of Frankenstein Rusty Bobby's seat with Wally's seat to make one really good seat. Added some extra foam there. It's very comfortable. I've already sat in it. And I did document it, and actually he documented redoing it, which I am going to show in a separate episode because I'm going to do a lot of the work on this interior, which you can see it's in need of a lot of work there. But now I'm going to actually go ahead and get it in here. For some reason, they had some shims put in here under the seat mounts, which I'm going to take out because I'm on the taller side. I don't think I'm going to need them. I've already done that on the other side. And for 3 of the 4 bolts, I actually had to cut them because they were just so rusted. And so now I have access on this side to those 4 bolts there. So it should make it pretty easy to get these pressure treated shims out and hopefully get the seat in there. So next time I have to pull this thing out of the garage, it's going to be a lot more safe and comfortable. So let's do it. I honestly can't believe that I actually got a single bolt out on that side. Just looking at these, how rusted they are, like how narrow this one is and how rusty these are. I was hoping when I was unbolting these that they would just shear right at the bottom, right at the truck floor, which is what happened over there. But what I'm going to do is just cut them as close to the truck floor as possible, drill through to the point where they're, again, a 3/8 hole. There was the square weld nuts. They will still be there. It'll just be a through bolt connection as opposed to threaded on the bottom side, which should be fine. Once I get these guys bolted back down here, there are some sliders that allow the bench seat to move fore aft a little bit. So I'll get that installed, then get the seat frame, and then actually get the seat cushions back installed. So let's keep going. Just finished getting the seat installed in Wally, and Mabel's out here. She's going to test it out for the first time. So you want to try it out? Climb up in there. No more 5-gallon bucket. Oh, that looks comfy. What do you think? Thumbs up? Are you ready to drive in the passenger seat? Yeah. All right. Let me get up in there. Scooch over. Oh. Oh my gosh. This is like really bouncy.
I know.
It's comfortable. Oh, this is gonna be good. Woo, 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 woo. All right, well, I started the episode on the gas tank, or trying to get gas there, and learned a couple things, and so I got more work to do there. So I'm actually gonna end this episode now, because we got the seat, so we still made progress. And next time, I'll be figuring out how to try to recondition that gas tank. So thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff, and see you on the next episode.